Lord, between running a business and having kids, I realized I can no longer judge people. Because I've never said this to you before, but...
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of the Signature Life Podcast. As I promised you, I will be bringing you some amazing guests, and today is no exception. Today, our amazing guest is a master cosmetologist, a loctician, a social media influencer with over 80,000 followers, an author, and a host of the Next Level Her podcast. With over a decade of experience in the Microlocs industry, she empowers women and builds their confidence behind the chair and beyond the chair. Beyond the chair, she helps educate and elevate beauty professionals to build thriving businesses and embrace their personal growth. Through her mentorship programs and events, she blends beauty, strategy, and purpose to help others rise to their next level. And I can honestly say I have benefited from the beauty, the strategy, and the purpose to help me rise to my next level. So I want you guys to welcome my very special guest, my friend, Pauline Walker. Welcome, Pauline, to the Signature Life Podcast.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Awesome. This is very special to me because we've gone on an amazing journey together.
Yes.
And we're still on the journey together, which is really exciting.
Yes, we are.
So we're going to start with the formalities of the show to start off with 3 gratitudes. What are you grateful for today?
I am grateful for relationships. I am grateful for connections. And when I say relationship, mature, healthy relationships. And I am grateful for always becoming.
Nice. I should have rehearsed my gratitudes today. It's all good because I'm trying to cultivate a lifestyle of gratitude. And so as the gratitudes come, they show up.
Yeah.
Today, I'm grateful for long-term relationships. I've been reflecting on how many people that I began a journey with or began the journey with who are still in my life. And I'm so grateful for that because I've learned a lot along the way. I'm also grateful. I'm grateful for my son because he helps me to just come back down to center. Like, when your brain is all thinking about all kind of things, just the way we interact helps me to come back to that center place and learning to be present. I think that's really what I'm grateful for. And I'm also grateful for the opportunity to have these kind of conversations that we're about to have today. I'm grateful for you being here and making the time.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Okay. So what we're going to start off with is if you can tell our audience where you're from, how you grew up, and how you came to find your way into the line of work that you're doing today.
Okay. Let me see if I can condense it.
Let's just start with where you're from and how you grew up.
I'm from Atlanta.
Okay.
I can say that, right?
Yeah.
Been
There are
here.
a few people who are from Atlanta.
Well, I wasn't born here, but I've been here about 20 years?
Okay. So you're from Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm from Atlanta. I wasn't born here, but I'm from Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm Caribbean. I was born in the Bahamas, but I grew up, let's see. I grew up always being in the hair industry. So I remember this was high school. I was going into high school, and that summer of transitioning between middle to high school, I spent the summer at one of my cousin's house. And so during that summer, it was fun just being away from a strict household because my household was strict. They were a younger couple, so I had freedom. Yeah. But during the time there, she would braid her hair and she braided my hair for back to school. And I thought to myself, this is very unique. This is nice. Like, how do you braid it? And I'm very curious. I'm a curious person. So I started asking her, well, how do you connect the hair to make sure it stays and it doesn't slip off? And I'm asking all these questions. She's like, well, let me show you. And she showed me. I said, oh, this is neat. This is cool. I have 4 sisters, so immediately when I left her home, I went home to my house and practiced. So I started braiding my sister's hairs, and child, one of them was brave enough to let me practice. The others were like, yeah, girl, you ain't about to send me to school looking jacked up. So I would do their hair, they would go to school, get critiqued, and come back, bring the critique back to me, and I would perfect it. And I've always been a meticulous person, so it got to the point where my work became so good that people were driving from different states and cities just to come and get their hair braided by me. And of course it was so cheap then, because I didn't even understand how to charge people. So you remember those micro braids with little tiny braids with the curly?
Yeah.
I was charging like $50 for those.
Okay.
And so of course people were coming
Totally
from
worth the drive.
Yes, yes. It was worth it, because they're like, shoot, this person charging $250. Let me come over here for $50.
Right.
But became really good at it. But by the time I was getting ready to graduate high school, I got burnt out. I was so exhausted and tired. I was like, I'm not doing this. Because, you know, when you think about braids, and I was doing them small, it's like 8, 12 hours. And even with the help of my sisters, because they didn't know how to braid, but I taught them how to braid. You know how you braid and stop, and then they would do the rest. I would taught them how to braid the ends, and I'm very meticulous. I'm like, it has to be consistent. So we would braid. I'm like, no, do it again, because it needs to be tight. So I was burned out, and I went to college, and I was like, I'm not doing this in college. Fast forward a couple of years in college, people were like, wait, you're the girl that used to braid. And so I started doing a little bit here and there. And then when I graduated college, I said, I am not doing this when I go into the workplace, when I get, you know, move into my singlehood. So I graduated, got a job, and I was working, and here and there people would tap me, hey, can you do my hair? So-and-so told me you know how to do really good hair. So at this point I was like, okay, I'll do your natural hair, but I'm not doing anything with weave.
Okay.
So I would do natural hair, and then someone had locks. And she was like, Pauline, you're so good at doing natural hair. Have you considered doing locks? I'm like, girl, no. But by this time I already had locks. And the person who installed my locks, she was a trainee. She installed my sister locks, and it took 3 days, 10 hours each day. So when I sat through that, I was like, I'm never doing this. She was like, Pauline, I think you would really be good at it. Plus, she was trying to get me to do it so I can do her hair, because she was traveling an hour to go get her hair tightened. And so she wanted me to learn, because she was like, I know you're going to be really good at it. You should learn. I'm like, no, I don't think it's for me. This is too tedious. It's all day. I'm not going to make any money. I'm spending 3 days on somebody's head. I'm not going to make any money. She's like, no, it's really good money. And I'm like, oh, fine, I'll check it out. So I took the class, and I was like, oh, I actually like this. And you were one of the instructors. And so I was like, okay, I could do this. Of course, the first install I did nearly took me out, but I survived.
Oh my gosh. Because my next question was going to be, how did we meet? So that's, there are times that I would go to class looking for people who are serious, right? And out of all the classes I've taken, there are like very few people that I like remember that if you tell me you were in my class, I'll be like, oh yeah. Because as it's happening these days when we go to events and people are like, oh, I was in your class. I'm like, oh, okay. Because I don't remember, right? But definitely when that particular class that you were in, I had decided I was looking for people who had corporate, I don't know what was going on, but I just had started to realize that some structure was needed in how I was doing things. And in order for me to like have people help me, I needed people who either had a college degree or had worked in corporate, right? Who understood the type of structure I was trying to put together. And so I remember you in class, it was in the way you asked questions, and it was in the way that we said, do so-and-so, and you had it done. And I was like, note to self.
Note to self.
Right? So after class, I believe I reached out to you and I was like, hey, I'm looking to have people in my salon. And you were like, oh no, my husband has built this space for me and I'm going to be working from home. And I was like, dang.
Well, see, before that happened, after I got out the class, of course, you know me, I'm a doer. So maybe I got out that class, I sent out a text message and an email to everybody. If you were on my list, you were getting an email, because I was like, I knew I wanted to exit the corporate space, but I knew I needed clients.
Right.
So I sent out an email to everyone. So for anybody who's getting started, you have to put yourself out there. So I sent out an email to everyone, and that's how I started getting my first few clients. And I remember one of the students who were in my class, we connected. She contacted me and said, Rosalie's doing some mentorship where you can work on clients. I was like, bad. She was like, it's not paid. I said, it don't matter, I get the practice.
Yes.
And so outside of meeting you at the class, the next step where we kind of started connecting was during those gruesome. Okay.
6
months of retirement.
Yeah. And I remember the first thing you came to, the first, I put out like a blast or whatever to the students that this client hadn't had her, she hadn't had her hair done in 6 months, right? And I'm always a fan of immersing students into like the worst possible scenario, because
you are.
because if you can do that, you could do the regular stuff, but it also it just helps weed out who has the stamina and who's like, I can take on a challenge, right? And after a while, you were the only person who would show up when I would put out those things.
Yeah, because even the person who invited me, I don't think she ever came.
She didn't. So it's like, okay, this is good. This is good. Okay. So yeah, so I really, I saw your tenacity from class, like your drive and you look like a person that if I say I'm about to do something, it's about to be done.
Yeah.
And I needed that energy in my life, because I had a lot of things I wanted to do, but I didn't have who can help me move it forward. So, so you start doing Locs, and then?
So I started doing Locs, and I took the class in June, the end of May, beginning of June. By July, I decided, okay, I'm definitely leaving my job. And I was ready to go, but you know how at the end of the year they give you nice bonuses. So I was like, I gotta wait on the bonus, because I'm not leaving without my bonus. I put 6 months in.
Right. I'm
taking my bonus with me. So my husband and I talked about it. I'm like, come January, I want to exit. And of course he was like, maybe you should. I'm not saying don't exit, but exit into something else. Like another 9 to 5. I said, baby, I ain't doing no another 9 to 5. I'm open to doing this full time. And he couldn't see how you can do this full time and replace your income. He couldn't see the consistency and all. I'm like, babe, I go and get my hair done every 6 weeks. And if I just get a certain amount of clientele, I can replace my income. I can be good. He was still not for it. But he was open to, for me to do whatever I wanted. But I also wanted him to be secure in our decision.
Right.
Because it's going to be our
decision at the end of the day, right?
So he was like, well, I will feel secure if we have 6 months saved. And then, if you decide to leave,
then
without a corporate job and doing your business, then I will feel okay.
Okay.
I said, bet, I got you.
Got you.
Maybe I was working from 9 to 5:30, start 6 to 2 doing hair. So, because it was just one client. Because I wasn't fast. So from 6 to 2 was just me doing one client. So going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, waking up at 7, 8, and
go to work
at 9, doing it all over again until I gained the clientele, get the money, and I included my bonus, and I was able to raise, I think, nearly $20K to put aside so he can feel comfortable with me leaving.
That's right.
And so By December 31st, I looked at everything. The first week in January, I put my 2 weeks notice in. They said I didn't have to stay. I said,
I'm out.
I'm out.
So I remember hearing, I'm going to quit my job in a year.
Uh-huh.
And then 6 months, you were like, I quit. You came and said, I already quit.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh,
yeah.
Well, here we go then.
I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. I felt like I was dying slowly there. And when you are in an environment where you see, first of all, I was working with mostly women. And about 90% of them were medicated just to come to work.
Oh, wow.
I said, I am not going to be on nobody's medication to control my anxiety, stress, and all this over a job. I said, oh no, I'd rather leave before I let these people get me on medication to be able to deal with work.
Yeah.
And I remember reading that, about most people who die of a heart attack is on a Monday morning. And most people, the number one cause of heart attack is stress. And stuff in the workplace.
Wow.
And so hearing that stuff, I was like,
it's not gonna be me.
This ain't gonna be me, because y'all over here driving me crazy. So I just knew, I kept feeling that tug to exit. I kept feeling I felt that call to be elsewhere, that my service will be needed elsewhere. And especially when you're trying to move up the ladder, there's no room to move, no room for growth, because I don't know, I don't want to blame everything on race, but if there's no room to advance, and I'm showing you that I'm doing the work to advance, and you hire other people outside of the company in the place that I'm working towards, that just tells me I don't need to be here. I had to, I had to choose me.
I hear you. I completely relate to your story, because the first time that I actually connected race to this thing is happening to me because of my race was when I moved to Georgia. So I can relate to recognizing that something is happening to me because of my race, and having been from Zimbabwe, like, everybody's black. So we don't talk about being black because everybody's black. But there was always if I came with an idea, it was like, oh, you came up with that? I was like, is this not part of my job? Right?
Is this what you hired me to do?
What you hired me to do.
Yeah.
So yes, I can totally relate as well to, okay, you make a decision that you're going to leave, and then, or that you want to do hair full time. And then the husband is like, okay, wait, what?
Wait, insurance.
All the things.
Right?
Things. So I like this part of the conversation for the new people who are thinking that they want to start doing Locs for the purposes of quitting their job, and what goes into what you need to prepare in order to leave your corporate and whatever it's providing, and just talk about those decisions and those thought processes that you have that you might not have thought about, and then you find yourself in a situation if you jump off the 9-to-5 cliff too early. Yeah.
What I encourage people, because for me, before I took that leap, it was a lot of planning. So literally every day while I was at work, the numbers had to make sense. I was like, okay, so if I charge this rate for up to 6 weeks, and if I have this many clients and I'm doing them every six weeks or every 7 weeks, what does that look like monthly? This is what I'm currently making at my job now. What do I need to make to be comfortable or to replace this? So I had to add the numbers, and I had to work with my speed, because while I was working at my 9-to-5, I was well aware, okay, it's taking me 6 to 8 hours. For those of you who are new, yes, don't be surprised if it takes you 6 to 8 hours to do a Sister Locs retie. So I'm like, okay, if it's taking me 6 to 8 hours, I can only do one a day. Okay, so one a day, this is the amount I can make. And then if I'm consistent, how do I get my clients? Okay, referrals. Okay, social media. I had to get on. That was my first time getting on social media because I was not on social media prior. So I had to create an Instagram account to do all that stuff. Baby, I was calling my little sister, hey, what are hashtags and what's the purpose of them? And she was like, just do this. You have to do that. And I would post something. She's like, girl, the picture's terrible. Put another one. So lots of trial and error. I had to look at the numbers. I had to plan. And on top of looking at the numbers, like I said, I had a conversation with my husband. What is a good number? What do you need in order for me to quit? A lot of times people are struggling with, especially married folks. My husband don't want me to quit. He has a problem with me quitting, but you've never proven to him that you can be consistent with what you're going to do and that you can execute. Because prior to doing hair, I was doing Mary Kay. I was doing a whole bunch of other stuff. So of course my husband was nervous. Because I've done the Cutco, I've done the Mary Kay, I've done the different things, and he's like, okay, you didn't really do much with that, so how am I, am I gonna know that you're gonna really follow through with the hair thing? I'm like, well, that's different to me, I'm like, that's my passion. I enjoy doing hair, and so I said, I'm confident I can do this. So he's like, well, that's great, but we need that 6 months of income. So that was me having to come together, have a meeting with myself. Okay, let's do this. So from July to December, I need to be able to show him that I can, and not just show him, but show myself as well. Because I needed to know that I can do this for 6 months straight. I needed to know that I can make this money to sustain us. So I had to make that plan to come up with that 6 months worth of income, backup fund. I had to start it. I had to budget. So I wasn't getting my nails done. I wasn't traveling like I wanted to because I wanted to get this account to a certain level. I opened up a separate account just to build it up. So by the end of December, I was like, baby, look. And he saw that. He was like, you did all that in 6 months? I sure did. And my resignation is already in. It's already in. So you have to prove to not just to other people, but to yourself. Because the only way to be able to trust yourself, you have to be able to confide in yourself.
That's right.
And that's where that confidence comes. And so if you can do the work, you're going to build that confidence and it's going to help you be able to take steps forward to your future and know that, okay, I'm going to be okay. Now, was it scary when I turned in that resignation? I was happy to do it. I did it on Friday. They said I had to come back. That Monday when I had to wake up and not go to work, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I said, okay.
Woosah.
But I felt secure because I had that saving. And secondly, I felt confident and secure because I had you, because I had that mentorship. I said, if nothing else, I know I can lean on you, go and do the work, up my skills. And what they say, your network is your net worth. So I knew if I stayed close to you, clients will rub off, and I will get clients that way. And I did.
And that's what was happening, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love this story. I feel like I'm learning some things I didn't even know. That's awesome. And also, there are things we didn't talk about them per se,
right?
But it's now looking like this is the way. This is the kind of a universal way to approach if you're trying to quit your job and succeed at the next thing that you're doing. One, you plan in advance, and you try to see what is the goal that will make us stable. I also believe that you can't leave your 9-to-5 that was providing a certain lifestyle to make less in the next endeavor that you're going to do. Because when you leave a job, you don't leave a job that's paying you more to go to a job that's paying you less. Right. So in the same way, when you're leaving your 9-to-5 to pursue your passion, build your business, become a loctician, then you need to be making as much or more in your next endeavor before you quit the one
Absolutely.
that's been
Absolutely.
providing for you. And those same conversations about your health insurance, your 401k, your life insurance, all those things, how are they being maintained? Because that was the standard that you were working with. You shouldn't fall off.
And with the insurance thing, my husband at the time was a contract worker. So he didn't have the insurance. The insurance was on me. And that is why he was so concerned. One of the reasons why he was so concerned about me leaving. And I see, just yesterday, a client, a transfer person was like, I need a new loctician because my loctician is going back to work because she says she needs insurance. And I'm like, you can get insurance in your business.
Yeah.
But people don't plan for that. Because so before I left my job, I knew, okay, insurance was going to end. I made sure I needed a certain amount of clientele. I got the amount of clientele I needed. I needed a certain amount of money saved because I knew if I get a certain amount of clientele, that's on repeats.
That's right.
And then if I had that money saved, that's just backup. That's not me touching.
Right.
And I knew we had to get marketplace insurance. So when we looked at the prices of insurance, I was like, okay, we can do this. So like you said, you can't leave to go live below. You have to plan and know what you need to continue your lifestyle and put that work into play.
Awesome. So, the format of the show, we were talking about the three C's, and I feel like this area that we're talking about right now is in the area of congruence, because you're aligning your passion with what you actually do, so that the thing that brings you money is also the thing that you enjoy.
Right.
And so I want to apply that now to, so you quit your job and now you're building a clientele. We're working together as a mentorship kind of a situation. How did you find out when it was time to branch off? Like you've acquired what you needed from this relationship and it's time to move on. How did that? How did you know when it was time to move on?
I think the big drive for me to move on was when I was pregnant with my first child.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be close to home. And the commute here wasn't bad, but we were planning on also moving to, when you have kids, you want to make sure you're in a good school district or all this other stuff. So we ended up moving, and that was further away from the salon. So I knew, okay, I can't continue the commute. And especially with Atlanta traffic, I didn't want to have the child in daycare closer to home and to be on the other side of the city. And then that commute, when traffic and everything, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
If they need me to come and get the kid right away, it's not a quick drive with traffic. Yeah. So I knew, okay, I'm going to have to make a change. But even with that change, I also knew that if I needed something, that I can always, go back and get the support that I need. So I think that was the biggest thing that let me know it was time to move on. That, and the second thing is, I knew it was also time to move on. It became more of a partnership. It was no longer mentor-mentee. It started to become more of a partnership. And at the time, you were going through things. You were pregnant. You had some losses. So I wanted to make sure that you were okay, that the salon was okay before moving on. And those things were in place as well. So I felt confident that, okay, she has support. She has other people here. And you were, bringing on more people. So I felt confident to be able to be like, okay, I can move on and still know I have this relationship there, but I can move on.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but that time frame of losing my sister and being pregnant, I learned that the structure of my business couldn't support me being away from it, which was a light bulb. And the second thing I knew was I never felt that level of support the way that you showed it. Like I didn't even have a concept, because that was the first time I had lost somebody, the first time I experienced death like that. I didn't have a concept of what support looked like. And the day that it registered, I had come to work thinking I had the bandwidth to, come back to work. But then you came to the office and found me just boo-hooing. So you closed the door. But then the client was here, and I heard you explaining and you were very calm too. You were like, yes, I know she's here, because the client was like, I can see her car. What do you mean she can't do my hair? And you were like, yes, she is here, but she cannot do your hair right now. And I don't know how that was resolved, but I'd never had that happen. And I was just like, wow, I really appreciate that. So if I never said that, I felt that, I really appreciate that. And it let me know that I want that. I want to be that, and I want more people like that in my life. So that was amazing.
Yeah, I just knew if I were in that situation, I would need that level of support. So, people always say, you do unto others what you want done to you. So I just wanted to, if there's any way, like that was the only way I knew how to support you during that time. Outside of hugs and just talking, I did not know what else to do other than, let's keep this salon running. She cannot do your hair. I'm available. So-and-so is available. We can do your hair for you. If that does not work, you're going to have to wait and keep the salon running, because when you're grieving, you still need that money coming in.
You still need it.
You still need that money coming in. So if anything, let's just make sure the money's still coming in, so you can continue to support your family and do the things that you need to do without added stress, And then you were pregnant at the time. I'm like, oh Lord, that's too much. So
it was a lot.
Anything I could have done to keep the salon running, that's,
that was
what
amazing.
I had to do to, help support, because that's the only, I'm gonna do it. That's the only thing I know how to do.
Awesome. So, so you transition, and now you're doing amazing things on your own, in your own space and with your own vision.
Before you continue,
yes,
I do want to say that during not the whole pregnancy and grief time, but during the time at the salon, you know how on the outside looking in, you see things totally different, right?
Right.
And then when you get into your own space and start doing stuff, you're like, I see why Rosalie was doing it like this. I see why. Oh, Lord, when I say, Lord, between running a business and having kids, I realized I can no longer judge people. Because I've never said this to you before, but I'm going to say it now. Okay. I am so sorry for judging you the way you ran your business. Because, baby, when I started doing my own thing, I said, God, thank you for humbling me, because there were times I would say, why is Rosalie doing it like that? I would send you emails. This should be done differently. Thinking I know better.
Right.
And this person did it, and da-da-da, or you should do this. Not understanding all the details.
Yeah.
And then when I had to step out and do my own thing, then everything came full circle. And I was like, I see why she did it that way. She was being a smart businesswoman. But for me, on the outside looking in with no experience in running a salon, it's so easy to be judgmental. And so now when I see other people have something to say about something that they don't do, I just people be like, how are you not bothered by that? Because they don't understand. So it's easy for me to just overlook it, because until you start doing the work, you're never going to understand.
That's right.
So I apologize for judging you.
Apology accepted. Apology accepted. But I think in the grand scheme of things, everybody was learning something, because I'd never. I really have to be grateful for the way God wired my brain, because there was something I was trying to do that I hadn't seen it being done. So I couldn't, there was nobody I could go ask, like, how are you doing so and so. So I was going to like other industries, like how are they doing stuff. And then that's the stuff I would bring, right? And because some things hadn't been seen, it'd be like, now why? Like, why? Rosie, you're doing too much. Now, I used to hear that all the time. You're doing too much. You're being extra, right? But there was something I saw that could be done that I hadn't seen being done. And, you're right. Like, when you're looking at what other people are doing, the details are not apparent unless you get in those shoes. And some people never get in those shoes, and they continue to move through life without knowing why people are behaving the way that they are. But being able to give people grace
and compassion,
right, which is another one, right? So that's cool. I appreciate that. I've seen it come full circle on many occasions based on the people that I've worked with. And I think you're the first person to like bring that to the forefront. So,
but I mean, although you were learning, we're all in a new space of learning. You were doing an amazing job then.
Oh,
because you were doing, and that's why I've always admired your work. Because I'm from the corporate space, so I'm always looking for professionalism, strategy. And you had all of that. Most people were just getting behind the chair and doing hair.
Right.
We're not trying to just get behind the chair and do hair.
Right.
We're trying to truly grow something and build something. Yes, it's different than what people have seen in the past, but God gave you that vision, and you have to follow through regardless of what myself or other people think about how you're doing things, how extra it looks. You were doing it, and although people think it's extra, it's admirable. And the people because even my daughter, when I see that she's doing things, I'm like, oh Lord, she's so extra. I still appreciate the extraness. So although people say it's extra, they appreciate it. I'm just saying.
It's good stuff. Okay, so talk about your journey now from working. You worked with your own clients, and you built your clientele to a place, and then you were like, you know what, I need to start mentoring people.
It wasn't until, because I really didn't want to, me, I could just get in my own corner and do my own thing. I wasn't thinking about mentoring people. It's just every time I would do something, people are like, oh, your work looks so good. It looks so neat. Can you teach me how to do it that way? I don't understand how you get how all your parts look so straight and they connect. Can you teach me how you do it? And so people just kept asking me, can you teach me? Can you show me? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm thinking, no. And then, of course, they're like, what will you charge me? I don't know what to charge. I've never done this before. I'm like, So for a while, I was like, okay, you can just come and look. You can just come. And eventually, they will come. I just started, the same way you would do me, give them clients and do different things. And I was like, oh, okay. People are enjoying this. People are benefiting. They are getting clientele from that. They are increasing their expertise. And so I started slowly doing it by just having people come into my space. And then I had online people. So at the time I started getting on YouTube because my clients kept telling me, because I love to educate my clients. They were like, Pauline, this stuff is not on YouTube. You need to post so people can know, because too many people are having issues with their hair and their journey. And people like you need to be on YouTube teaching them. And I was like, nah, I can't be on YouTube. Folks be too mean. Folks got something to say. And I don't think I'm strong enough to take criticism. And they were like, girl, them things aren't, people's comments, don't pay attention to that. Just keep posting. I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I remember there's this YouTube channel, Effective Prayer or something like that. And somebody put a negative comment under somebody praying for them. I said, well, God, if somebody gonna put a negative comment under somebody who's praying for them, baby, no matter what I
Doesn't
post,
matter.
they're gonna say something negative.
That's right.
So that was like, okay, just go ahead and post because somebody's always gonna have something to say. So I was like, let me just start. So I started a YouTube channel. So from there, people started admiring the work, and they were like, well, how can we learn from you? But I'm not in Georgia. So then that created the online class and started mentoring people. And people just kept reaching out. It's not like I stepped out and said, I'm going to do this, because I don't put myself in, I'm just more of a behind the scene person, but I love to help people. I love to educate people. So the moment somebody say, hey, can you help me? I'm like, sure. And before you know it, I'm helping like 10 people or, so that's pretty much how that came about.
Okay. What are some of the things that you've run into now while you're mentoring? What are some of the main challenges you see people having when they're looking to be mentored?
So one thing I learned, I heard this recently too, but you attract who you are. So one thing I've learned, because I've seen myself in mentorship programs, and when I'm mentoring people, some of the same behaviors that I've had in other people's program, I'm seeing those behaviors come up in my program.
Right.
And so when I'm working with people, you truly attract either someone you used to be or someone you are currently. And so one thing I'm realizing about mentorship, about business, people say business is spiritual. Business for me is, if you are, I feel like business exposes who you are as an individual.
Absolutely.
Business not only exposes you, it also makes you go back and deal with things that you have not dealt with in your past. And it makes you deal with them currently, because you cannot move forward in business unless you deal with yourself.
Yeah.
You are the core. You are the foundation of your business as an entrepreneur, right? Because we can't just pass the business on or take a seat back and say, it's gonna run. We're not Walmart. We're we're not that, you know.
Right.
So, and our business is very relational. So what I'm noticing in just my own self is that until you deal with who you are, until you deal with the things that you think, oh, I don't have to deal with that right now, I can put in a back burner and keep running my business. Your business like, no, I can't run effectively, or I cannot get to the level you want me to get to until you deal with those things.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm realizing, and I'm attracting people who are having issues that I deal with, whether it's insecurity, identity, not good enough, all those things I've had to deal with. Now I'm getting people who are having to deal with those same things. And I'm grateful that I've had some type of roadmap to help me so I can help a little bit.
Right.
But at the same time, you still have to keep it professional. You ain't trying to pry and be like, hey, this is what you need to do.
Right.
But I'm seeing it. So the more I see it, I'm like, let me take a step back. Let me make sure I am working on myself, because you have to be at a level of, you have to have a level of maturity to be able to handle people. Because when you're mentoring people, people are always projecting. Every day, we just project from our experiences, our past. So when things come up, it may not be about you.
That's right.
But you still need to know how to deal with that. So you're not falling apart and then your business falling apart as well.
That's right.
Did I answer
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I felt like I just kept talking.
No, but that makes sense, because the way I heard it is your business cannot grow past your level of personal growth.
Yeah, baby. there you go. Look at you summarizing everything, because I can just keep talking, but you just summarized that perfectly.
Right.
Because if you're not emotionally healthy, that business is not going to be healthy.
It's not going,
baby.
And so usually, I think the first time that I'm grateful for being a reflective person, because I don't like
Yep.
when things happen and I don't like how they feel. I don't want to feel it again. And then also, just recently, I've learned how to read the things I feel. Like there are things I feel in my body when during a situation that I didn't have the words for, or the interpretation for what does that mean. And then just over the last year, I've learned to pay attention to the sensations I have in my body and what they mean in that particular situation. So I remember feeling like, because I'm like in the time frame that we were working together and all the stylists are there, that because I'm the owner, and I wasn't managing, remember, I wasn't managing my time well. And so because I'm not managing my time well and these people are here, I should be able to just be like, hey, help me out with this. And it's the body language you guys will give me that'll be like, I mean, sometimes somebody would be like, no. Or sometimes somebody would be like, okay, but I would read that and I'd be like, but what's the problem, right? And I didn't know what the problem was.
We're a team here.
Right?
Why can't you just jump on and help me, okay? And Rosalie, I ain't gonna I carried that same behavior onto my
And
to the point where my sisters, when they were getting ready to leave, they will duck out. So I wouldn't see them. So I would say, hey, can you come help me?
Because I learned that people they replicate what you do, not what you say. And I was like, oh my God.
Because baby, I had to work on that because I saw you, man, Rosalie would spit out 6-7 clients in a day, baby. I can do that too. So I'm doing it. I'm like falling behind. I'm like, hey, Tia, can help me? And they're looking like, why don't you manage the schedule? And I'm like, I am. But
that was that was just it was an inability to say no, and it ran for so long that I was like, it was when I was on my own, and I had nobody to ask, right?
Yeah, I'm there right now.
I had nobody to ask. I was like, because then the clients will wait. They're not happy, but they'll wait because they don't want to go anywhere else. And I was like, you know what? This looks like a hostage situation, because like the client releasing me would be like, look, I can see you're not going to be able to do this. Let me leave and you call me when you have time. And their hostage is, I don't want anybody else to do my hair. So if you're going to take it till midnight, I'm going to be here. I was like, this is not
right.
Cannot work. Got to be a better way to do this thing. So I learned that people do what you do. Like in a mentorship situation, people do what you do, not what you say that they should do. And so that helped me to start rearranging things so that the people duplicate what makes sense, not what I want to do for my personal things, right? So, wow.
Lots of learning, right?
What?
Yep. Now that I'm, by myself and my sisters, because I've changed my work hours and their work hours are different from mine. So I'm by myself during my work hours. So I'm having to put in more time and I'm having to say no more. Like, your hair ain't gonna fit during this time. I can rush myself, but I don't want to be in that position. So we're not gonna do that. So you're right.
So where has your business evolved in terms of like how you want to feel when you're working versus when you first started and you would just like go?
Yeah, definitely. When I first started, go, and I can still feel like sometimes I can be pulled back into that go mentality, but how I want my business to feel, I want it to feel luxury. I want it to feel calm and peaceful. I want serenity when I'm in my room. And so in order to create that space, I need to make sure I have enough time for my clients and time for myself to recuperate so I'm not rushing and feeling that pressure. And having a very set schedule to where I have to leave by this time because I got to get my kids.
Right.
it makes it easier for me to set more boundaries. And I think with just how I, appear on social media and to other people, it attracts those people that I need.
That's right.
To be able to give me the serenity, the calmness, and everything that I need. Most of my clients, they work from home. So half the times when when they come in, they're on their computer working. So I can put on my headset and I'm listening to whether it's my Christian music or a podcast. Like, my day is not going by without me learning something. So that's how I like for my business to make me feel. I need that freedom of, I don't want to feel anxious. I don't want to feel rushed. I don't want my clients to feel like they can't ask a question because I'm pushing them out the door.
That's right.
I'm like, here, next. So yeah.
That's good. So let's shift into this personal growth area, because you've been doing a whole lot.
A whole lot of personal growth. Oh, my Lord.
Talk about, like, what are some of the things that you're doing for your personal growth?
So for personal growth, I'm doing a lot of reading. I'm almost done with Let Them by
Mel Robbins. That's a good one.
And baby, it was a good one. I had to, that book had to help me to say, well, let them. Let them be upset. Let them be confused. Let them not agree. Let them, whatever it may be. I had to let that go and then be like, okay, well, let me work on whatever it is. So I've been reading a lot of books. I'm in a program that helps me with making relationships work. Reading my Bible. My podcast has been healing for me too, helping me with, whatever I'm learning, I'm just expressing it on my podcast. And then relationships, having uncomfortable conversations has helped me to grow, and because I'm an avoider by nature. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't want to step on toes. I feel like I need everybody to like me, and I'm like, child, everybody didn't like Jesus, so you just need to get over it.
Right.
So I know the people who are close to me. I feel like, okay, for the people who are close to me, let me work on not avoiding. If something happened that that doesn't sit well, have that conversation. Instead of just cutting off, because I'm so quick to cut people off. And I'm like, that's not healthy. I read a quote on Instagram the other day, and it's like, if you don't deal with who you are, your emotions and all this other stuff, at 30, you thinking you cutting people off is cool. At 40 is this, and at 50, you're lonely and you're wondering how you got here. So for me, I had to learn, okay, I can't just cut people off or ignore people. So how can I move forward? And it requires a conversation. So I couldn't avoid conversations. I couldn't avoid those things. So I had to do them. And when I tell you, having conversations with mature people, people who understand, is on another level. And that encouraged me, like, okay, Pauline, you could have difficult conversations. You don't have to agree. You don't have to see eye to eye, because we all have different lenses, right? We have different lenses from our own personal backgrounds, our history, our current environment. We're all from different places. One word could be said and you would take it differently. I will take it differently based on where we come from.
That's right.
But understanding that, okay, we're different. We see things differently. Perspectives going to be different. But I'm confident enough to know that you care for me, you love me. That's what matters, And so having those conversations, and one of those conversations I've had to have with one of the people I've worked with. Until this day, she's like, Pauline, thank you so much for this conversation.
Wow.
You guys, because you had a conversation with her as well. She's like, you guys are leveling me up. And I'm like, this was a hard conversation. But when I tell you that was one of the best conversations, and I just feel like it brought us closer together. And I really feel like, okay, now I can be myself. I can treat you like one of my sisters. I can, and so it's just, personal development is very, very important to me. And so I'm willing to do whatever I can to keep becoming, to keep being better, because I need strength to be able to support myself, but I also need to be able to be strong enough to help support others.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's going to be at a personal development place where, you know,
Yeah.
you got to work with them. You got to be patient. You got to be
Yeah.
compassionate.
That's right.
You got to be forgiving. It's just so much you have to do, because a lot of times I'm not dealing with Rose Lee at 40 something.
That's right.
I might be dealing with 5-year-old Rose
That's
Lee,
right.
you know,
That's
or I
right.
might be dealing with 10-year-old Rose
That's
Lee. So
right.
I have to have compassion for the 10-year-old Rose Lee and be like, okay, this is where she's at right now.
Yeah.
Let me extend grace and
Yeah.
compassion. And, you know, and hopefully we'll get to the point where we can deal with the 40-something-year-old
That's
Rose Lee.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
right.
I hope that made sense.
It does. Yeah. All of that. All of that. I'm just like, it's like a flash of what the journey has been for me in this lock business, because I can remember having clients who were living a certain kind of life in terms of like even just like being vegetarian, and they want to be all natural. They don't want, you know, certain things on their body, blah blah blah. And me coming home telling my husband, these natural people are like to becoming one of them, right? And having other people look at you that way. And to the point of the Let Them book, right? I think it's something that we know to allow other people to be, but it was also the second part of let me, like,
Yes.
I'm not trying to change. Yeah, so I'm gonna let them, but I still feel away, right?
Right.
But if you let them and then you see what you can do
Yeah.
in letting them, that makes you feel comfortable, then
Yeah.
I feel like that's the language that book gave me. Like, what do I do? And then also in the vein of being the person that models things as opposed to talking about them, I can see the difference in who I'm attracting now. And there's like a unification, or it's the idea of unifying the community that I've always wanted. That's coming full circle with the just the range of people who are coming to tell me experiences that they have had, and I can reframe them and not make it seem like it's the community. No, it's just that person. Right. So you don't have to throw what they
Throw
say?
a bucket with the water or something like
whatever
that.
that
I know what you're
expression
talking about. I know I'm terrible with expressions, but don't throw the bucket out with a child, you know.
Yeah, we know what we talk.
Yeah, I know.
Right. To be able to have space for other people's things and reframe. I'm so happy to be able to reframe
Yeah.
what you see that has hurt you, and reframe it to, yes, that happened, but also the reason it happened is so that you can move in this particular direction.
Yeah.
It's been really amazing.
And sometimes things happen is because you haven't dealt with it.
Exactly.
So, and that's one thing I have to keep telling myself, is that if you don't deal with it, it's going to keep coming back. And it's going to keep coming back in different ways. And so if you don't deal with it, 10 years later, another situation, and you're like right back at it. It's the same thing. The core of it is still the same. So why not take the time to deal with it now?
Yeah.
So you don't have to keep revisiting it.
That's right.
Because God is interested in our growth. We're here on earth for a reason, because we have a purpose. There's still work for us to do. There's still work to be done. I tell people all the time, the moment my purpose is done, I feel like it's
time to go.
It's time to go. You know?
Yeah.
So there's still work for us to do. And for me, I would behoove myself to not step into the next level me, to step into the better person, because I'm raising a daughter.
Yeah.
I'm raising a son. And they're not looking at what you say, they're looking at what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So I have to be that example for
Yeah.
them, because I don't want them to grow up with that hurt, with that, you know, feeling like, oh, woe is me, people this, people that. We all have things that we have to deal with, but let's be mature, let's be humble, and let's just work on them.
Yeah.
And know that it's okay. You don't have to agree. you know, because like I said, our lens are all different.
Different. Yeah.
So,
This is good. This is good.
yeah.
Wow. Amazing. So, as we're wrapping up, can you tell us what's coming up in the future that you would like the audience to know about?
Well, for one, the Locpreneur Experience seminar is coming up. Rose Lee will be one of our speakers, of course.
Thank you.
It's coming up April 18th through the 19th. If you're VIP, we're starting the afternoon prior. So if you're VIP, the evening of the 17th, we're starting. So the Locpreneur Experience is coming up. That's the biggest thing for me and child that requires a lot of work.
And if you're looking for personal growth, I can personally vouch for the level of speakers that are going to challenge you to look at where you are. You look at that gap between where you are and where you want to be. This is the environment for that.
Absolutely. We're going to focus a lot at the event. We're going to focus a lot on you, because as locticians, we are the core of our business. So we got to get you right so your business could be right. And so we're going to be dealing with some foundational issues with you as well as in your business. So you can, get to the level. So we're going to be dealing with systems, automation, AI.
What?
We're going to be doing a lot of that.
Okay.
So I'm so excited. It's a wonderful community, and I'm thrilled for it. This is the third year. So
Wow.
And thank you for rocking with me and supporting the event
What?
for the past 2 years now, moving into the third
Undoubtedly.
year. So
I'm happy to. I told. Did I say you did? I feel like I've said it to somebody. Maybe if I haven't said it to you, I'm riding your coattails. Just so you know.
well, we're riding each other.
Wherever you're going, I'm going. So that's awesome. But let's also. I enjoyed this conversation. Just even the trip down memory lane, just to see how far we've come. It's just really heartwarming to know that. We have changed, and for the better.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And that's the thing, we have changed.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you don't change?
I mean,
maybe y'all need to constantly be changing for the better. Please do not stay in your old ways.
Yeah.
Like, change is necessary, because if you're changing towards the better, you're growing.
Yeah.
And growth is beautiful. Who doesn't want to be a flower?
Who doesn't? And you have seasons. You need to know you have seasons.
Everybody have seasons.
Right? You bloom, the petals fall off, but then you bloom again. Right?
Yep, I think I'm in my blooming stage.
Are you?
Because the petals are falling off all summer, child. All summer. Petals are falling off. I feel like I'm in my blooming stage. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
Because growth, it's wonderful, but it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, but it's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So tell the people where they can reach you.
You guys can connect with me, all things Entoi Beauty, ENTOI Beauty, on YouTube, Instagram, wherever, TikTok, Facebook. And I also have my podcast, The Next Level Her Podcast. That's on all listening platforms, as well as YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Yes. So the Next Level Her Podcast is different from Entoi Beauty. Entoi Beauty is more like locks and everything. I also have CEO Loctician for, because I did a separate Instagram just for locticians.
Yeah.
But Next Level Her, it's all about my personal development. So if you want to ride that journey with me, learn more about me, that's where you go.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. We have covered journeys from youth to career to personal development to stratospheric things that are coming up in the future. So I hope this conversation inspires you to just aim for whatever is next. Don't be afraid to take whatever that next step is, even if it means you're doing more than the person who showed you what to do. Because if they're secure in what they've given you, they know that you're on your journey and they're on their journey. And until next time, stay congruent, watch your capacity, and be compassionate.